How to outlaw your life. Dress for success. You only have one chance to make a first impression. You have a long day ahead of you, so only fuel your body with the best. And hit the road early to avoid stress. And after work, get your workout. And that's 3 ways to spot a liar. 1.
Picture your ass. I've got him, fellas.
What are you doing?
Look, I know who you are, law-abiding Mike. What gives you the right to tell people about their rights to make my job harder?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
Oh, you're detained, all right. Come on.
The polygraph says you were lying. You might as well just confess. Think this only happens in the movies? Think again. The cops can actually lie to you about lie detector results to get you to confess. My tip, ask for an attorney and say, I invoke the 5th. Psychology hacks lawyers use. Do not apologize. Say thank you instead. For example, don't say sorry I'm late. Say thank you for your patience. It shows you consider their feelings and it puts everyone in a better mood. Follow the win at life with these.
I hope your dog gets caught in a meat grinder. Banned from Twitter? The First Amendment is under attack.
Hey, Buck, I hear you think your freedom of speech is at risk.
This is America, Lil Mike. They can't censor me like this.
I see, but have you been arrested for your opinion?
No.
Did the government put you in prison or restrict your freedoms?
Well, no, but Twitter.
Sorry, Buck, your First Amendment right isn't a free pass to be a dick on Twitter or other private companies. They have a right to allow or disallow whatever they please on their services. The government didn't infringe on your right, though.
Screw you, law-abiding Mike.
Oh, just doing my job.
You know how fast you were going.
Stop! They're trying to get you to confess. Say less.
But bro, do you smell that?
No what?
Never mind, there's something in my trunk.
Just say, I believe I was going the speed limit and you'll be fine.
I believe I was going the speed limit. Hey, look at that!
What are you doing?
Just got arrested for a DUI? Should you do a blood test or a breathalyzer? If you strongly believe you're under the limit, a blood test is better because it's more accurate. If you're unsure, a breathalyzer may be better because they're less reliable, giving your attorney a better argument. For example, energy drinks and mouthwash can raise your reading. Also, breathalyzers only pick up alcohol, but a blood test will show any drugs in your system, which could be used as evidence against you. You should never drive under the influence, but if the cops arrest you, remember, never ever admit to anything, and I invoke the 5th. How you look makes a difference. Ever notice how Superman, Don Draper, and even Hillary Clinton put their hair to the right? It's no coincidence. The hair part theory says that pushing your hair to the right makes you seem more powerful and in charge. So remember this little tweak so you don't look weak. What if I told you you could break the law and avoid punishment? It's called jury nullification, when a jury votes not guilty even when they believe you were. But why would they do that? Well, a jury decides both guilt and fate. So if the jury thinks the law is unfair or the punishment is too harsh, they can vote not guilty. It's how you can start making changes in the system. The courts may not tell you about this. It's a trick they don't want you to know. Good thing I'm here. You take the blue pill, your story ends. You take the red pill, I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Involved in a hit and run? Here's how to make sure you're covered. Get as much info as possible for the police, like the way the car looks and the driver's appearance. Collect evidence, even when the driver's gone. Look for paint scrapes and broken pieces of their car. And ask witnesses for details and take pics of your car and the scene. And make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage. If they never find the person, it's the only way you can get money for your injuries. That way, if they flee, you're not stuck with a fee. Should you tell your lawyer that you're guilty? Well, your lawyer will most likely never ask you that. But whatever they do ask you, be truthful. There's this thing called attorney-client privilege. Basically, it means whatever you tell your lawyer, they can't repeat it. Unless you're talking about committing a future crime or covering up an old one. So if your lawyer asks you questions, be honest. They're on your side. Those other guys, not so much. I'm taking this car. Can cops do this? Yes, and in most states, you can't refuse. But usually, the danger must be dire, and the cop must have no other option. Of course, you may have the right to refuse if a cop only requests your car. But if they demand it, certain states require you to hand over your keys or face a penalty like a fine or jail time. But realistically, the cops rarely use it. This is what to say when the cops say, "We have a warrant to come in your home." Repeat after me. Please slide it under the door. A search warrant is signed by a judge and lets cops search your home. But they can only search the place described and the items identified in the warrant. So they can't search for a suspect in a drawer. Make sure the search warrant has the correct info, and if not, tell the cop and say, "I do not consent to a search." But if they still do it, don't interfere. Even with the warrant, you don't have to answer their questions. And always remember, I invoke the fifth and never, ever admit to anything. Save money on your dream car. The person with the most info usually wins. Be prepared. Know how much the dealer paid so you know how much they'll make. Let the dealer talk. Just say the price is too much, and then let the dealer talk themselves down. Use your walkaway power. The strongest move is to walk away when you don't get what you want. You may just call their bluff, and they'll lower the price before you leave.
Fine, we haven't done this before, but that's 2 for 1.
Don't sign that contract until you know this. Everything is negotiable. The contract is just a starting point. Don't be afraid to make changes. Know your remedies. If things go wrong, make sure the contract has a solution that works for you. And always have an out, like canceling it if they fail to do something, or for any reason. So that way you don't get stuck and out of luck. Just got in a car crash? You can sue for more than your medical bills, like lost wages,
This man will never practice law again.
property damages, and things you can't put a price tag on, like all your pain, stress, and inconvenience. Even less severe injuries can cause these things, which is why you should get a lawyer to increase your odds of getting full justice. This is what to say when the cops say, "Can I come in?" Repeat after me. "No, officer, do you have a warrant?" If the cops are at your door, don't open it. Ask through the door if they have a warrant. If they say no, you say, "I don't want to talk to you." If they do have a warrant, ask them to slip it under the door. Even if they have a warrant, you don't have to answer their questions. And always remember, I invoke the fifth and never ever admit to anything. For what to look for on a warrant, check out part 2 of my IG. How to deal with an asshole. Kill them with kindness. Don't let it get to you, and walk away from the situation. And understand that everyone has a bad day, so don't judge too quick, or you may be the dick. Do's and don'ts with the cops. If you're stopped for questioning, do ask, "Am I free to go?" Don't run away. Do exercise your right to remain silent. Don't lie. Just say, "I invoke the fifth." Do know you have a constitutional right to say whatever you want to the cops, but don't do it. Tactics lawyers use to win negotiations. Have perspective. The study found that when people ask questions like, "Why is he looking to make a deal in the first place? What will give the most value to him? Can our values meet? What the heck is going on inside of his head?"
Damn, that on bust.
Then the likelihood of you closing on your terms go up more than 200%. Save this so you know the... When you say, "We only get paid if you win," they hear, "I'm gonna win." When they say, "Hey, what do you do for work?" you say, "Oh, I'm a lawyer." They hear, "He'll answer all my legal questions." Only answering them on the gram. Psychology hacks lawyers use. When someone asks you a tough question, always respond with, "That's a great question." They'll be less critical about your response because you just complimented them. Cross your arms and see if they copy you. This is called mirroring. If they copy what you do, they're interested in what you're saying. She's always interested in what I say. Follow for more. Tricky words cops use. Things will go much easier on you if you just confess. It's the cops, not your priest. Confessing is only going to make it easier for them to lock you up. Don't get finessed. What to say when the cops say, "You wouldn't mind if I take a look in your trunk." Stop. Listen closely. The cop just tried to finesse you. Whether you say yes or no, they may argue that you agreed to a search. So repeat after me. I do not consent to a warrantless search. Save this so you know. Laws that shouldn't be laws. Stand your ground laws remove the requirement for you to first retreat if you believe your life is in danger, and instead use a gun. In most states, it applies any place a person can lawfully be, including public spaces. The problem is stand your ground laws encourage people to shoot first and ask questions later, which leads to unjust outcomes like what happened to Trayvon Martin. It applies even if a person can safely de-escalate the situation by walking away from it. What do you think about this? Comment below. Always be like, why don't you respond to my messages on TikTok? Well, have you tried messaging me on Snapchat? I respond to everyone. And for the next 48 hours, I will be responding with videos.
I wrote back and said, of course I had sex before, knowing I was frontin'. I said, I'm like a pro, baby, knowing I was stuntin'.
Tips on how to win an argument against anyone. You want to validate their feelings. Most of the time, people just want to be heard. Try saying, I understand why you feel that way. Or say, anyone would feel that way in your situation. This validates a person's emotions and puts them at ease. Follow my page if you want to learn more.
Randall, there is a cow outside.
There's a cow farm. You're gonna find cows outside.